Hi, Stampers. Welcome. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. I apologize. My voice is still a little scratchy and I'm probably still going to cough. But good news is I did test again last night for COVID and it's officially negative. So that's good. Means I can start classes up again. Um, but I have been keeping up with our online classes. So today we're going to be doing a really simple card. Again, I'm keep this week because my voice and everything's all funky. We're keeping it simple. We're going to do an Eclipse card using the new online exclusive designer series paper that's coming out November 7th. And we're going to play around with some basic dies. I'm always telling you guys, basic dies are a must in your craft room because they can do so many things. I want to give a shout out to Ginger who sent me this cute little get well card. Thank you, Ginger. And to Joe who gave me this Halloween card and this adorable book. She knows that I'm in love with Kathy, who was a comic strip like back in the 80s, 90s probably. And she did a new book because of the COVID. And so she dropped it off on my doorstep the other day. So, thank you, ladies, for thinking of me and helping me keep my spirits up while this thing is driving me bananas. But let's get to work on today's card. Like I said, it's really simple. The designer series paper does most of the work. It's not going to take me very long, so I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one in Melon Mambo and another one in Daffodil Delight because there were so many pretty papers in this pack that I really couldn't make up my mind. So we're going to do a couple. I'm starting out with our basic card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And so we're just going to fold that over. I tend to butt up the ends here and then push back into the score line. That's how I try to keep my edges as close together as possible. I'm bringing in another piece of designer series paper to cut out the larger rectangle. And we're going to cut the smaller rectangle right out of the center of the DSP. So this piece is a little bigger than it has to be. It could be. Looks like it's a little over. It's about 3. Maybe if you did 3 1/4 by 5, it would fit. But I'm just going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. I guess I could have used the mini, but I just happen to have the larger one out on my desk, so we're just going to go with that. I guess I couldn't use it. I need to use the big one on this. I'm going to try to center this as much as possible. If you're worried about the dies shifting on you at all when you go to put it into the machine, what you could do is use a little mini Post-it note just to hold it in place. There's also Post-it note tape. You could use washi tape. There's several ideas. Oh, that's nice. Catherine said she's a little late because she was die cutting for a friend. Very nice. See, that's one of the things I love about card making and but card making people, we're just like nice. Cutouts from security envelopes, huh? Interesting. She's talking about the little dragonfly here. Apparently that's envelopes. What a way to recycle. Very cool. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be super simple. All we're going to need to do is load this onto our card front. And this piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This one here was 4 by 5 1/4. So this is just 1/8 of an inch difference because I wanted a smaller border around it, but it doesn't matter. You could do either one. The technique all works the same, so it depends on what you're comfortable working with. If you're looking for that 1/8 inch helper, it's in my store. It's a little piece that glues onto your trimmer and gives you where the 1/8 inch marks are. It's a free download. You just download it and then cover it with packing tape and then adhere it to your trimmer. Just make sure you print it in actual size. Don't let it shrink to fit or the measurements won't be correct. Okay, I centered this on here. So you can see this was just cut straight out of the middle. I put it on the larger die, and then we're just going to use some dimensionals and pop it up in the middle. You could lay it flat if you wanted to, but I wanted kind of the recessed look. Here I'm doing it with these regular dies, but in the past we have done it with letters as well. I was using up some old paper, or it's not quite old. This is Halloween paper from this catalog, but since Halloween's right around the corner, I was making some little cards to send out. And this is an Eclipse technique as well, in that these letters were cut out of the designer series paper and popped up on dimensionals. Now, it was kind of tricky to get the dimensionals and line these up. So one of the things I would suggest, if you're using especially the new letter dies, the alphabet a la mode, they're really skinny, but they can be used for that technique if you were to cut out one in fun foam. If you use fun foam to cut out the letter and then glue the paper one to the top and then stick it in the hole, it works really well because it's exactly the right size. You could also use our foam adhesive sheets for that. So now I'm just going to try to line this up. So I'm kind of matching the path that was over here and the trees. I'm putting it right back in the middle. And then I thought it needed kind of a sentiment. So I used a 1 inch by 3.5 inch piece of basic white. And then I grabbed a horizontal thank you. I was looking through my stamps. Quite a few of them were stacked. And I wanted one horizontal, so I pulled out Pansy Patch. And then because we're doing the Melon Mambo here, I'm going to match my ink to my paper. That's one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is that they're using Melon Mambo in the designer series paper. This is Melon Mambo. My ink is Melon Mambo. Markers are Melon Mambo. Dimensional, or the embellishments can be Melon Mambo. It just everything coordinates. So it takes kind of the guesswork out of putting your cards together. Okay. And then we have these great new embellishments. Again, part of our online exclusive offering that has little birds and little dragonflies. So we could choose what we wanted to work with. And then I'm just going to scatter them around the front of my card. You can mix and match, or you can make them all the same. It's up to you. Excuse me. And then when I did this, I cut off the bottom. So down here I have the little strips. So one of the things I would do is, to not waste any paper, I would go ahead and adhere this to the bottom in here. And then use this as my insert to my card. So you can either put it flush at the bottom, you can bump it up, you can put it up here. We also cut off almost 2 inches over here, so you could do that as well. you could take a little piece of this. This is probably too wide, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And you could put that down the side. And then it makes the inside of the card match the outside of the card. And again, you just decide if you want it flush or if you want a little border over there. And I always put these on first so that I can let it hang over the back. And then I trim from the back side so that I can see where I'm cutting. And then it fits exactly. There's no way I can cut that short. I think I like the horizontal better. But there is card number 1. And we use the Countryside Corners dies for this one. And I'm going to do another one using a different set of dies. This time, like I said, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight and another piece of that cardstock. And this time I'm going to use Scalloped Contours because it has layering shapes as well. You could use the deckled rectangles. You could use any number of those basic shapes to just use this technique. So I'm going to cut the smaller one right out of the Designer Series paper. I'm going to cut the larger one out of my scrap. Again, this could be 3 1/4, maybe 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So it's a little bigger. Excuse me. Trying to center that where I want it, using the Post-it note to hold it in place. This technique would be fabulous if you're looking to make a lot of cards in a short amount of time, because this is so quick and easy. And it's a little different. It's not your basic layers. If you've followed me for long, you know I don't do very many cards that are your basic layers. You know, just not my thing, I guess. I prefer the more advanced cards. I like the recipient to have that kind of wow reaction on the other end. To me, that's so much fun. I've been doing this for a very long time. I started back probably in, 1996, when my kids were little. I was a Tupperware consultant, and then I had some problems with Tupperware and decided I was going to switch. And so I switched over eventually to Stampin' Up! Because I was a scrapbooker and I was constantly running out of those little letters, you know, the stickers that we made titles out of when we were doing Creative Memories. And someone said, well, you'll never run out of them ever if you get a set of stamps of the alphabet and then some ink. And it like changed my world. The color coordination and the fact that I was never running out of letters was fabulous. And so, of course, you know, I wanted everything in the catalog. And then next thing you know, here I am doing this full time. And then when the kids started going to school, I went and got, I went back to accounting and office management. And then when they grew up and moved out of the house, I came back to doing this because I missed it. I just think this is so much fun that I get to play with stamps, ink, and paper for a living. And that's all thanks to you guys who purchase from me, because that allows me to keep doing what I love. And if I give you guys ideas and you purchase from me, and we're all happy campers, right? Okay, this time I'm going to use the little label in the middle here for my thank you sentiment. Scooping off this pink. Don't need it to be pink anymore. We'll use our Daffodil Delight. And then last time I did liquid, we could also use seal if you're more comfortable with that. We don't need to do it the entire way. This Stampin' Seal is very sticky, so a little goes a long way. I have a couple of people who keep telling me that it's cheaper to buy this stuff at Hobby Lobby or, one of the big box stores. And actually it's not, because you end up using so much more and they have a tendency to fall off. So I don't want my cards to fall apart. Okay, so there we go. And then we can decide where we want this one to go. I think I'm going to offset it a little here. But this one I'm going to lay flat instead of on dimensionals, because the mailman, if I put more than one layer of dimensionals, wants to charge extra postage. So I try to keep my cards to one layer of dimensionals so that they can be mailed with a regular first class stamp. And there we have it. Oh, we didn't put any embellishments on this one. Excuse me. So there we go. There is our 3 cards in Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, and Highland Heather. I'll go ahead and add a thank you strip to that, and we'll have a beautiful little set of cards. I'm just looking back to see if there's any questions. Catherine says she's going to be going to Florida and taking her craft stuff with her. I think that's awesome. Yeah, this paper is great for scenery stuff, and I didn't want to cut it up too much because you lose the scene, which was part of the whole point. So thank you so much to everyone who joined me. I'm sorry it was like a really short one. We did 2 cards in less than like 15-20 minutes. So thank you for joining me. I hope you liked it, and I'll be back here on Monday at 2:30 and hopefully have my voice back. So I will talk to you later. Thanks. Oh, we need to spin the wheel. Has everybody put in Prize Patrol? I almost forgot. You guys didn't remind me. Hashtag Prize Patrol is how you get entered into the drawing. And I'm going to spin the wheel behind the scenes. It's collecting everything by computer. Gian, you want to make sure that it's hashtag Prize Patrol, all run together as one word, because the computer is very, very picky and wants it exact, or it doesn't pick it up. So go ahead and get that entered, and then I'll spin. There we go. Kathy's got it in. Ah, okay. Thank you. You were reminding me. Thank you. Okay, so let me get rid of this and share my screen. Okay, let's remove that one, and we're ready to spin. There we go. Kathy is our winner. Congratulations, Kathy. All you have to do is pop on over to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then fill in. Oh, you're going to up in the address bar, you're going to put in / and then Prize Patrol. You're going to give me your mailing address so I know where to send that off to, and I'll get that in the mail. And remember, if you have a Stampin' Up! Order and it's more than $60, contact me. We need to talk because there is an awesome deal going on right now that will get you that for like half off or twice as much for that much money. So congratulations, Kathy, and I will see you back here on Monday at 2:30. Thanks. Bye.